Hey guys, welcome to question FM367 of the Further Maths Fortify study guide. This question reads, Noah collects books. Let X be the number of fiction books Noah owns, and let Y be the number of non-fiction books Noah owns. For every 5 books Noah collects, he collects at least 2 non-fiction books. An inequality that represents this situation is, and we're given these 5 options. Now, once again, I'm going to show you sort of a method for deducing which one of these are possible rather than going into how to create an inequality just yet. We might touch on that more in the short answer section. So for now, what we want to create quite quickly is 2 conditions, I guess. You want one that satisfies the outcome that we're looking for and one that doesn't satisfy. So, a condition that satisfies the inequality that we're looking to find, and one that just satisfies it, is going to be that if Noah has 5 fiction books, then he's going to have at least 2 non-fiction books. So if we say 5 fiction and 2 non-fiction, that's right on the edge of that boundary. So that's sort of right on the edge of what's allowed by our inequality. So that should satisfy our equation. And one that doesn't would be if Noah had 5 fiction books but only 1 non-fiction, because that's not at least 2. So 5 fiction and 1 non-fiction will not satisfy the equation. 5 fiction and 2 non-fiction will satisfy the equation, or I should say the inequality. So now, of course, guys, you can do all this by calculator. There's no need for you to do it by hand, especially in an exam type condition. But it's a nice sort of way of breaking it down if you aren't super confident in making inequalities. So going into option A, we're going to take the satisfy conditions and insert those into our inequality. So we have 2 is greater than or equal to 2 times 5 plus 5, plus 5, which is going to end up being 2 is greater than or equal to 15, which it definitely is not. So we already cross out A because we've inserted the conditions that should satisfy our inequality, and it has not satisfied the inequality. On to option B. We're going to do the same thing again, and we're going to replace Y with 2, and 2 should be greater than 5 times 5 plus 2, which ends up giving us an answer of 2 is greater than or equal to 27. Once again, 2 is not greater than or equal to 27. This is wrong, and it should satisfy the equation. The inequality. So B is also not our answer. Option C, we have Y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 5. So going through this process again, 2 is greater than or equal to 2 times 5 over 5, which is going to give us an answer of 2 is greater than or equal to 2. That satisfies our inequality because they are equal to one another. So we're going to put in the one that should not satisfy this equality. So we're going to get 1 is greater than or equal to 2 times 5 over 5, which says that 1 is greater than or equal to 2. This is wrong. It does not satisfy the inequality, which is exactly what we want it to do. We want the first one to satisfy the inequality and the second one to not satisfy it. So we're looking at C at the moment. It's done both of these things. So it's looking like our answer, but of course we're going to check the other 2. Moving down to D, the conditions that should satisfy this inequality are 2 is greater than 5 times 5 over 2, which is 2 is greater than or equal to 12.5. Of course, this isn't true. And lastly, we have option E. So 2 is less than or equal to 2 times 5 over 5. So 2 is less than or equal to 2. This is correct. It satisfies the inequality just like we wanted it to. And if we look at this one, we have Y is less than or equal, 1 is less than or equal to 2 times 5 over 5, which ends up being 1 is less than or equal to 2, which also satisfies that inequality. However, we don't want these conditions to satisfy that inequality. And so E is not our correct answer, meaning that C was in fact the correct inequality. If you guys have any questions about this, please drop them in the comment section below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.